Everyone's in constant search of finding a work-life balance. It's such a myth. You don't find it, you create it. It's about setting priorities and making decisions. What do you value? What can you live without? Where do you want to spend your time? How do you want to live your life? But we just wait for it, like we're gonna get bit by the work-life balance bug and it's going to just miraculously make all of those late night evenings disappear. We're gonna catch that work-life balance flu that's just gonna infuse itself into all the parts of our life and just fix everything. Now believe me, I say this after making a ton of mistakes. I had to learn this the hard way. But I realized that I was actually using this work-life balance more of a crutch than a commitment. So what do I mean by that? Well, look, when I'm using it as a crutch, it means that I can just have excuses. Look, I'm trying to find this stuff. I'm trying to find a balance. It's not my fault that it's so hard to find. So it keeps me feeling overwhelmed and stretched thin, but also powerless. I become the victim. But when I'm committed to finding a work-life balance, that means that I set boundaries. You have the ability to set boundaries. This is when I'm on, this is when I'm off. When I'm off, I am unplugged. I have sacred time for myself, my family, my loved ones. And when I'm on, I am absolutely on purpose and productive. That means no goofy internet searches, no Facebook perusal or YouTube rabbit holes. And what you'll find is that the on times, you're so much more productive. And in the off times, you're so much more peaceful. That's how you actually create a work-life balance. Those are the hard lessons I've learned. But I gotta tell you, business owners are my favorite when it comes to this work-life balance, because when you start a business, you're not thinking about vacation time or taking off the evenings or weekends. You don't even think you're allowed to think of that. So when you make all of those sacrifices, once you've built your business, you don't dare even think about taking time off or feel like you can. So what ends up happening is it just continues. It's a vicious cycle. You work harder, you work longer, and you just never take time for yourself, your family, for the relationships, for the lifestyle you want. Look, I can remember when I was working for somebody else, and it slowly started that I was working nights and weekends. And I would say to myself, this is awful. I hate doing this. If I'm gonna work this much, I might as well start my own business. And that's what most people do. Dissatisfaction somewhere turns into, I might as well do this for myself. 10 years later, here I was working nights and weekends, never asked the question, hey, did you actually like doing that? Was that actually what you wanted to do? Or did you just figure, since everything was going so awfully, you might as well go and do it for yourself? So what I really want to do is impart my experiences, my mistakes, the things that I've learned, and help you just think about it. What do you want to create? How can you create a business lifestyle? And yes, I said that word, business lifestyle. Usually we think of it as two different spectrums. You either want to have a business and you got to work so hard, there's no rest for the weary, or you're going to have a lifestyle where you're just kicking back and you're always barely working and you're just goofing around with friends and family. Not true. Again, finding a work-life balance says, this is what I want my life to look like. This is the things that I value. And, oh, by the way, I have this huge passion to share my vision with other people and create a business around it. And now here's how I'd like that to work with my lifestyle, to create those things together so that as your business is successful and starts working, you don't realize, oh, what did I just build? Did I create a monster? You can say, I am building and evolving a business around the lifestyle choices and the business choices that I want, and they start working hand in hand. But the first thing you have to do is check yourself. You have to figure out, what am I doing right now? Where do I want to be? And then look at that gap and say, how can I start to create a business lifestyle for myself? And you have to give yourself permission to believe that it can exist, and permission to make the decisions and the choices that may piss some people off or that they may not understand, to say, this is how I want to live my life and this is how I want to build my business. That's what I love doing. And I tell you, it is possible, and you don't have to sacrifice anything. You can have it all. It starts with taking ownership, turning awareness into ownership and making decisions. I'm Ryan Prucker. That's what I love helping people do. Build their business, share their passion, and create the lifestyle that they've always wanted. I'll see you next time.